If you are just starting an agency, or you probably already started an agency but haven't landed your first client, I would actually recommend you to focus on local businesses as opposed to that of e-commerce or information product. The reason being that it's actually easier to sign a local client as opposed to someone in the e-commerce space, for all the reasons I'm going to go ahead and mention in this training. And in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how you can go ahead and find local businesses for your agency at scale, as well as share with you a unique trick which will allow you to find businesses who are already in the mindset of spending money, which in other words, they're low-hanging fruits, meaning that they're more likely to go ahead and become a client versus a local business that's not even running ads. Now, I highly recommend that you watch this video till the end, because at the very end, I'm going to share with you guys 85 different profitable local niches that you can go after. And this is just one of 15 videos available in our free Skool community. And if after watching this video, you find it valuable, I want to go ahead and invite you to click the link in the description and join our free Skool community. As a member of this free Skool community, you not will only have access to in-depth training on starting and scaling a marketing agency, but you're going to also get access to all of the downloadable material that I personally use at my agency, which you can use for yourself. Additionally, you will have direct access to me where you can ask me any questions you may have along your agency journey and get a response from me within the same day. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the training. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and show you exactly how you can find local leads or local prospects for your social media marketing agency. Now, underneath this video, you're actually going to get this bonus material, which is a list that I have compiled of 85 local businesses, different niches, if you will. That's going to be linked underneath this video. And these niches are going to be under home services, health and beauty, legal, real estate, automotive, as well as miscellaneous. We're actually going to break down why, if you are just starting out for social media marketing agency, if this is your first time starting out, why we would recommend you actually go after local businesses. And because I want to provide you the most valuable possible, I went ahead and listed these different niches that you can go ahead and get into. So you can find that linked down below underneath this video. Also, underneath this video, you're going to have access to this lead tracker that we have built out. And essentially with this lead tracker, what it does is essentially going to go ahead and organize your prospects. Okay, so you could imagine, if you have 20 to 100 to even 500 prospects, you're going to want to go ahead and keep those organized. So you're going to have access to this sheet. And what I recommend you do, obviously, you're going to go ahead and click File. You're going to make a copy. But what you can also do is you can modify this to add the certain metrics that you want. So by default, we went ahead and, we have the niche, we have the name, the Instagram, the website, the ad library, the date that a video was sent or the outreach was sent, a status, a video column that basically says, have they watched the video or not? Have they replied or not? When is the first follow-up, the second follow-up, third follow-up, so on and so forth. So feel free to go ahead and change this if you would like. Maybe you want to add a certain metric, maybe you want to remove a certain metric. Feel free to go ahead and change it however way you would like. And on the left-hand side, as you can see, we have a filter status. We basically set up data validation and conditional formatting to let you know what is the actual journey of this specific prospect that you're reaching out to. So are they someone that you followed up with? Are they someone that is waiting? Like you sent the video, but they're waiting. You haven't followed up with them. You're waiting for a response. Are they someone that is, in this case, would be terminated, meaning that they're not interested? Is it 2x waiting, meaning have you actually sent a video, a second follow-up, and they still haven't got back to you? 3x waiting, you followed up 2 times and they still haven't got back to you. So this is the sheet, and on the bottom, you'll see different tabs. You have the prospecting list. Right here, we have prospecting list. So this is going to be the list. The outreach info here is just going to be perhaps like a Loom link to the exact individual. Here we have the columns explained. So that's going to explain all of these different columns. So for example, for me personally, I have my VA doing all of this now. So I set up these columns so that she knows exactly what each status means, but also for you guys, that way you know exactly what each of these statuses mean. And then we have pipeline, and essentially pipeline is the way this, the way to best utilize the sheet is by having first a pipeline, okay, meaning a tab that lists all the businesses that you want to reach out to, and then you only transfer them to the prospecting list once you have all their information updated. So the way I like to do this is I'll spend, for example, one day gathering all the leads, gathering 100 to even 5,000 leads. As you guys
we'll see in a later video where we explain how you can scrape 5,000 leads. I'll go ahead and upload them to Pipeline, and then what I'll do is I'll have my VA manually update from Pipeline to the prospecting list. But not only will she, take the actual, let's say, website, but she'll also add their Instagram. She'll also add their name. She'll add the niche that they're in. She'll add, their ad library. So the pipeline column or tab serves as a place where you can go ahead and just dump all of the potential prospects you want to reach out to. But then the prospecting list serves as your actual list of prospects with all their information filled out. Okay, so these are the 4 tabs, and again, you're going to have access to this link down below. Please utilize it to your advantage, because if you don't actually organize your leads, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. Okay, you can imagine if you're reaching out to 20 people a day or even 100 people a day like we do, you're going to want to make sure that all of this is organized, and you're going to want to make sure, have I followed up with this person, or have they even viewed the video? Okay, have they replied back to me and maybe said they want to work together, or they don't? Did we book an appointment? Whatever the case may be. Now, obviously, if you guys are in our paid program, you guys probably know. If you don't know, we actually install in your business. It's a done for you service where we install an appointment setter in your business, okay, and a media buyer and a creative person that handles all your creative. Excuse me, from a video editor to graphic designer. So all of this is handled for you when you join our Done For You program. But again, if you don't join the program, I'm doing this because I want to provide you as much value as possible. So you will have to do this yourself or hire someone else to do it. Nonetheless, this sheet right here will help you tremendously when actually keeping your leads organized. So now let's go ahead and get into the next thing. So in today's video, we're going to go ahead and talk about why local niches are great for social media marketing agency owners that are just starting out. We'll go ahead and cover why using Google, or how to use Google to find local leads. We're going to go ahead and talk about the low-hanging fruits, which in this case is sponsored ads. And then as a bonus, I'm going to go ahead and cover, it's actually 85 local leads that you can go after. So first thing, local businesses for beginning SMMA owners. Okay, so why should you go after local businesses as opposed to e-commerce? So on the right-hand side, we have, a local business, and on the left-hand side, we have Shopify. And I'm going to go ahead and give you an illustration as to, if I was to start all over again, why I would go after local businesses as opposed to e-commerce businesses or information product businesses or any product online. Okay, here's why I would do that. Okay, the reason I would do that is because with e-commerce, it's actually much harder to get them results, because there's many different platforms to advertise on. You're going to have to actually know how to advertise on all these platforms. It requires a lot of creative testing. Okay, and then the tracking, like, that's literally just a whole different story within itself. Okay, it's much harder to track for e-com as opposed to local businesses. Next thing is that 99% of e-commerce businesses have been pitched at least once or 5 times before. Okay, maybe more. You guys don't know how many times I have seen, businesses get pitched by the same agency owners. So just keep in mind, if you are reaching out to an e-commerce brand, just know that there are other agencies reaching out to them. So 99% of all e-commerce businesses have been pitched at least once or 5 times. And quite honestly, that's just being conservative. I honestly think that they get pitched even way more than that. The other thing with e-com businesses is that they most likely either have an in-house marketing team or have an agency partner. So for example, the clients that we work with, all the clients that we worked with, either they, had an agency, whether it's us or they were working with someone else, or the ones that have left us, 2 in particular, actually ended up hiring an in-house marketing team. So with local, it's not like, with e-commerce, it's not like local where, you can literally set up a local shop and you're going to get customers from your surrounding area, even if you don't do no marketing. With social media, with e-commerce brands, in order for you to make sales, people have to know who you are. And if you're a brand new brand that doesn't have any, traffic or any followers, you're going to need to actually run ads to get more eyeballs on your brand. Therefore, most businesses are already doing marketing in the form of having an agency partner or an in-house team. And lastly, you need to find something in common, or you have to lie. Okay, so as you'll see with local businesses, you can automatically build rapport just because you're talking to a business within your jurisdiction. Wherein with an e-commerce business, when you are pitching, what I realized the best thing to do is find something in common. This is why I went after Muslim/Arab niche, which actually in another video we explained to you exactly how you can find, or how to find, the competitive advantage or the knowledge that you have over other agency owners. That way, when other agency owners pitch them and you pitch this same client, you have that competitive advantage. So really what I found is that you need to find something in common, something that the prospect can relate to, some way to build rapport, or you're just going to have to lie about that in order to actually build rapport. Now, I don't recommend you lying, but I'm trying to give you the idea of, it's the best way to close a client is to actually build rapport with them, find something in common to actually go ahead and break that ice. And lastly is online outreach. So cold DM / cold email. So with most local businesses, you can't pick up the phone and call them. With most e-commerce businesses, you can't just pick up the phone and call them. Most of the outreach that you're going to do is online, and that's going to be in the form of cold email or cold DM. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at the local business, okay? So again, I'm painting the picture as to why local business is easier than e-commerce business for someone that is just starting out, no case study, no results, no nothing. First of all, it's actually easier to deliver results, okay? You could do this in the form of leads or in the form of foot traffic. So one local business that I actually worked with in particular was a local dentist. And, for us, it was very easy because we were just running ads within a 20-mile radius to this dentist to actually have people come in, get a Hollywood smile, teeth cleaning, so on and so forth. So it's really easy to deliver them results because we were just running ads to Messenger or to Instagram or to WhatsApp to get people to come into, to get people to ask questions and then come in, okay? So it's actually much easier to deliver results for a local business as opposed to e-commerce, like we said, different platforms, different creative testing, as well as tracking. The next thing is that most likely these businesses have never been pitched, or if they have, it's very little. So I kind of gave the example in another video. I live here in Boise, Idaho, and right across the street from me there is a med spa, okay? And I can guarantee you that this med spa has been pitched significantly less than an e-commerce apparel brand. And the reason that is because, with an e-commerce apparel brand, people are, scraping their information to actually find, people within that niche to reach out to them. And again, there's nothing against that. I literally share with you 2 different videos. One how to scrape 5,000 leads and another one how to scrape 10,000 leads to actually find e-commerce businesses to reach out to. But the point I'm making here is that with a local business, they're getting pitched so much more less than that of e-commerce. Now, what does that mean for you? Well, what that means for you is that if a business is not being pitched at all or being pitched very little, it's most likely that it's not as competitive. In other words, you have a greater chance of closing this business as opposed to that of an e-commerce that gets pitched significantly more. Okay. The third thing is that they most likely don't have the time to generate more foot traffic. So most business owners that I've worked with, whether it's local or e-com, they're good at what they do, which is running their business. Okay. But they're not good at actually doing their own marketing. Okay. So this gives you a bigger advantage because as long as you know a little bit more than the business owner, you can go ahead and pitch that to them and hopefully get them to sign on as a client because again, they don't know how to do that themselves. And the fourth thing is that you can automatically build a rapport because they are within your jurisdiction. So kind of giving you the example of the e-com where you have to find something in common or lie. With a local business, even if you don't have much in common, just the fact, for example, this med spa that's across the street, if I just, call them and I say, hey, Mr. Business Owner, my name is MJ. I actually live across the street from you here in Boise, Idaho, and I want to go ahead and show you how we can generate you XYZ in X amount of time. The fact that we are just within the same jurisdiction, okay, right across the street or even 5 to 50 miles away, builds automatic rapport because now they know, okay, this person literally can come into my business and I can talk to him as opposed to someone pitching me from across the country. And the last thing is that they can get pitched via in-person or cold calling. Okay, so if you are actually pitching businesses within your city, man, how much more effective would it be to actually cold call them, go in person, aside from actually DMing them and sending them emails. So this is the advantage of why, if you are a beginner, you should start with local businesses as opposed to e-commerce. And again, you can transition into e-commerce But what we're saying is that you'll have higher success of actually getting a client, getting your hands dirty, getting some real-time experience by going after local businesses. Now that we established why you should go after local businesses, I want to go ahead and get into how to actually find these leads, okay? Now, this method that we're going to cover here is really using Google, and I've realized that this is probably the best way to do it, to be honest with you. There's obviously a bunch of softwares that you can scrape. Again, we teach you this inside multiple videos in the program here in this free course, but I want to go ahead and show you how to do it using Google manually. Okay, so the way you would do this is, let's say you're going after dentists. Okay, what you're going to go ahead and search is, you're going to search dentist Boise, Idaho. So for me, I'm in Boise, Idaho, so I would search Boise, Idaho. If you are in Canada, you would search Canada. If you are in New York, you would search whatever city and state you're in. But nonetheless, you're going to go ahead and search, dentist Boise, Idaho, and what's going to happen is it's going to go ahead and give you, on the left-hand side, it's going to give you the what's called Google Maps, and on the right-hand side, the right-hand side is going to be Google Maps, and then on the left-hand side, it's going to give you the different businesses with different ratings, their phone number, and all that good stuff. Now, if you actually click on more places, you will literally see about 100 different listings, but this is the first starting point, is just type in your niche, followed by the city and state that you're in, okay? Now, if you look here, when we type in Boise, Idaho, and we actually click on more places, what happens is it gives us 10 different pages, okay? And on 10 plus pages, and on every single page, there's literally like 20 different listings, okay? So depending on what niche you're going after, you can literally find anywhere between 100 to 500 different businesses within that city. And also what it will do is not only just give you that city, it will give you the surrounding cities, okay? So as you can see here, dentist Boise, Idaho, it gives us all these listings. And then we have, in this image in particular, 10 plus pages where we can go through each one, okay? Now, first thing I want to do is, how you're going to extract this information is, you can simply just right click on the business name, open it in a new tab. You can go ahead and use the tracker to put in their name, their number, their website, maybe their Instagram, whatever information you want to go ahead and extract. You can go ahead and extract it that way into the lead tracker. Now I want to talk about sponsored posts, which in this case is something that I'm calling low-hanging fruits, okay? Now why do I call this low-hanging fruits? Because these businesses that are running sponsored posts are already running ads. So any business that is already running ads is a low-hanging fruit. Meaning that if I was to go ahead and pitch dentists in Boise, Idaho, the people that are running ads would be the first people that I would go pitch. Okay. If in this case I'm offering them Facebook ads, these would be the first people. Now, why would I do that? Well, because you see, the people that are already running ads are already in the awareness stage when it comes to marketing. They're already spending money on Google ads, meaning that they already are in that awareness that I need to go and spend money in order to actually generate more money. And again, they're already spending money to acquire clients. They know that if I want to bring in a client to my dentist practice, I need to actually go ahead and spend money. So if you can come in and show them, here's a better way to do it, whether it's Google, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever the case may be, they're more likely to go ahead and agree, as opposed to someone that has no idea about ads or has never tried it in the past. Okay. Now, 50 to 75% of the time, these people are running the ads themselves, which means that there's room for improvement due to the lack of knowledge on marketing or ads. What I've realized with local businesses when I was running my SEO agency for 2 years is that we were doing their SEO, but they were also running their own Google ads. And Google makes it very easy for you to actually run a sponsored post. That about 50% of these businesses do it themselves. Okay, literally within your phone, you can go to Google My Business, and you can go ahead and just say, I want to target people within 5 miles or 10 miles, and I want to spend, $20 a day or $50 a day, and then you hit sponsored posts, and then, your post is live. So Google makes it very easy to actually run these ads, to have business owners run these Google ads. And 50% or more of the time, you'll see that these businesses are running their ads themselves, which is good news for you because there's most likely room for improvement, given the fact that these businesses are busy building their business and they lack the marketing knowledge. Now, again, this is the lead tracker that we mentioned here. So what I would recommend is that you spend 1 to 3 hours a week and update these leads into the lead tracker. It's important to keep track of your prospects' outreach journey, the people that replied, not interested, booked a call, etc., so on and so forth. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, what I would recommend you do is you do this in bulks, okay? So you don't find a lead and then you outreach to them and then find another lead and outreach to them. What you want to do is you want to find a bunch of leads, preferably like in the hundreds, 200 or 300, and then go ahead and upload them to the sheet. And once you upload them to the sheet and then you're ready to go, then you go ahead and outreach to the first 200 to 300. So do this in bulk, and it's important to keep track of the outreach journey. That way you know exactly what place is this prospect in when it comes to the journey of the outreach. And again, update the lead tracker to reflect the metrics that you prefer. So on this sheet, I don't think we have a column for phone number. So what you might want to do is you might want to replace ad library, okay, with phone number. That way, when you update all this information, you can put in their phone number here. Or you might want to remove their Instagram and add Facebook. Whatever the case may be, feel free to update this to reflect the metrics that you would prefer to track. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this 85 local business niche list is going to be underneath this video, so please do free to access it. One thing I should say is that I'm, giving you guys the value of, not having you guess, what is the best niche or what kind of niches are out there. I'm giving you a list of different niches, okay? And what you should do, okay, one thing you should do with this list is that you want to go after businesses that have a minimum of a $500 service, okay? And the reason that is if they have less than a $500 service, they really can't make sense of paying you $2,000 to $5,000 a month. So we touched on this in a previous video, but let's say you go after a restaurant. You're getting leads for restaurants. Well, a restaurant that sells a $30 plate, if you generate them even 50 clients a month, right? That's not going to move the needle in terms of their business, right? They can't make sense of paying you $2,000 to $5,000 for the 50 leads that you got them, because 50 times 30, whatever the math is there, it's not a lot of money. So when you're choosing a niche, okay, and we actually have a video covering exactly how to choose your niche. So if you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend you watch it, because we dive real deep into the framework of choosing your niche. The point of this video is just to show you how to find local businesses. But to choose your niche, I recommend that you go watch that video. It's about a 20 to 30 minute video where we really give you the framework. It's the only video you're going to need to watch on how can I find my niche based on my preference, my profession, my experience in the past, as well as the profitability. So point being, the niche that you go after, make sure they have a minimum $500 plus service. That way, let's say, for example, an attorney, okay? An attorney, let's say if they sign on a new client, that client is worth $2,000 for them. Well, guess what? If you generate them 50 clients per month, that's going to be a lot of money, and they can make sense of paying you $2,000 to $5,000. Whereas if we go back to the example of the restaurant, even if you get them 50 clients at $30, a plate, meaning $30 per client, it's not going to be too much, right? They can't make sense of paying you the $2,000 to $5,000. So the higher the actual cost per service, cost per one customer, the better it will be, because then if you generate them, 50, 100, 200 clients per month, it would be they can make sense of paying you the price that you're asking. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes how to find local leads. Hope you enjoyed this training, and I will see you in the next one.